Hi, Chris DeLeon here. Now I've spent the past 15 years making video games, and about half that time helping beginners get into it. Through various contexts, one-on-one lessons, volunteering on weekends, workshops, classrooms, summer camps. Any way I can, I always try to find a chance to work with beginners, including years of writing free content online for hobbygamedev.com, which I'm going to continue to do for free, but there's a limit to what I can do for free in my spare time, and so I'm trying to experiment with what more I can do and really putting together a package to help people get started. See, I was thinking about how when I was first getting started making video games, what worked for me and what didn't. Before I was taking on modern games, the kind of games I like to play, I started with the roots of the game industry because that was a time when games were made by one person. And one person could handle thinking about all the design, all the programming, all the art assets. And it first makes you focus on just how to put an image on the screen, just how to use the mouse, how to use the keyboard input. And so I'm offering now a source code pack that emulates some of the same learning that I did there, some of that same process, by including 2 example code packages for 1970s style arcade game design type projects, for 2 early 1980s style console game design type projects, and the starter code for at least the core interactions or engine operation of like an early 90s PC style game genre. So you can then see as a progression and play in each of these source code examples, written in a way to be read by beginners. And I can't stress that enough. This is different than finding the open source or existing source for a published game, because unlike those, which include all kinds of weird hacks or advanced programming features, this is about code that's written to be read and edited by a beginner. Now the other half is actually something that's a whole different kind of approach to it, but intersects with that way of learning, and that's what my second code bundle is about. There, instead of taking a wide view of 5 different types of gameplay, it's instead sort of a deep vertical view into a single type of game and its progress as I develop it. And I walk you through there, first, just showing the first thing I program, which is player interaction. It's always how you want to start a project, of just spinning a ship graphic on the screen using the keys. A very, very small, tiny program. From that, I expanded up into basically a bloated single function of just showing how the variables relate to what's happening on screen. So we have 1 enemy UFO, 1 player ship, 1 projectile per each ship, and the game works at that point, but we're not yet ready to expand upon it. And there's when I'm going to show how the code would change as you become more experienced as a programmer towards wrapping that up into separate functions to be better organized, then progressing from that into an organization of classes. And the code is still doing the same stuff, but this is illustrating how refactoring works, a very important process in transitioning from being a designer who can kind of hack together prototypes into being the sort of programmer that can bring to life much bigger, more sophisticated ideas that are ready to take towards completion. And then once that sort of core is laid of different classes, different functionality, the code is built up into a way that we can take it further, then I show kind of one additional step in which there's levels with a tunable difficulty progression, in which there's high score that saves. There's sort of an animated simple title screen. And from that, we sort of, again, set up some exercises of what I encourage you to try to do next to it, to make it your own, to explore, to make sure you're learning about not just, how to read through the code and what the concepts are there, but how to extend it and what sort of ways you can constructively dedicate your attention into new directions for it. I'm offering them together as a bundle at a discount. At a discount because I really want people to get both, because I really want these 2 things to play off of each other, because again, that's just going to be more additional source code for you to draw upon as a foundation for your learning. There is a bonus. When I bundle them, I'm including a modern prototype that I've done relatively recently in processing to show that it's still a great environment that I use for prototypes all the time, of a novel gameplay mechanic of pixels battling pixels. So there's tens of thousands of entities on the screen. It's a little hackier because it needed some more optimization, but it's a different gameplay concept that doesn't yet have a clear direction for where it's going, to encourage you to explore that on your own, and showing also a second phase of the project where there's characters added. There's some faces, or what I would call generals, that lead the charge or cower back to help visualize what's going on in that battle sequence. And those are just 2 stubs to help give you something where it's less obvious, where you're going to take it as a starting point for additional ways to think about your game development experience. This is all code in the processing platform from processing.org, which is free, works on Mac, Linux, and PC, and you can be using immediately tonight. There's no installation, no configuration difficulties. It's a great environment to first start looking at game programming because the focus is only on the code, not on the development environment or setting up libraries or configuration to make files. And I really want this to go beyond, though, just giving you the source code to read through or think about. And I want to help facilitate you learning to work with it. And so I'm offering here bundles of just PDFs along with each piece of source code so you can see for yourself some exercises that are designed for beginners to help you familiarize yourself with the code and its operation. And some of these encourage mixing code between projects, which is another thing that helped me learn, because in practice, a lot of us who are more experienced in making games haven't written something from scratch in a long time. Usually what happens is we start pulling together pieces of games we've already written, Or if anything, I'll start from the game I've written before, gut it and pare it down to the part that overlaps with what I want to do next, and then build up off of that. So this is going to help instill an immediate base for you of having 5 different projects to draw from, remix from, and build upon. So thanks for giving me the chance to pitch this to you. If it's not the right thing for you, I still encourage you to go check out all the other free resources at hobbygamedev.com, which, like I promised before, I'm going to continue to keep writing free content on Hobby Game Dev as well, but I did want to try out something different to see if I could take it past what I can do in the free entries, and that's what these code packs and the bundle are all about. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll see more of you soon. Bye-bye.